Volleyball Championship. We are now down to 3 teams. Penn State has already beaten Florida in one semifinal. The other semi is coming up, the most anticipated volleyball match of the year. Stanford and Long Beach. Yes, that's our main course for tonight, the Cardinal and the Niners. Hi, everybody. Welcome to the show. Chris Marlowe and Heather Cox. Heather, Stanford, the number 3 seed, but a lot of experts are still picking the Cardinal to go all the way.
Well, and that's because Stanford has the most depth of any team in the nation. The Cardinal has won 26 consecutive matches and have been to the national semis in 5 of the last 6 years, winning 3 titles in that span.
The Nike starting lineup for Stanford, the player of the tournament last year, Kerry Walsh, is opposite Jamie Gregory, and player of the year candidate Kristen Fokel on the outside. 2 reliable middle blockers, Paula McNamee, Barbara Fejica, and a terrific setter in Lisa Sharpley. Now, Long Beach State has had a fabulous season once again.
Well, Brian Gimmelero's squad runs the quickest and most dynamic offense in the country. They've been ranked number 1 in the coaches poll since the beginning of November and have won 24 consecutive matches, only losing 7 games all season. This is the Beach's 5th national semifinal appearance, and they do have a lot of history. They've won 2 national titles.
Nike starting lineups for Long Beach State. Sophomore Veronica Walls has had a great year, hitting .337. Croatian Anja Grabovac is one of the outside hitters, along with the lethal Jen Snyder. Rising star Benaishi Dillard is in the middle, along with the nation's leading hitter Nikki Crump, and player of the year candidate, all everything, Misty May. Wait till you see this player. Number 5 in white. Maybe the most spectacular setter to come along since Debbie Green.
And the reason that she's such a great setter is because she does everything other than set just as well as she sets. She can hit, she's an incredible server, she's got great defensive skills. She basically does it all for the 49ers.
Of course, on the other side of the net, some great names led by that woman, Kristen Fokel. Fokel, a player of the year candidate, a 4-time All-America. In her 6 years going to or playing volleyball and playing basketball, she's been in the national semifinals 6 out of 6. She is the ultimate winner. Don Shaw, 3 NCAA titles, 92, 94, and 96. He's assisted by Denise Corlett and Ann Wicks. Brian Gimmilero, he's won 2 titles every 4 years, 1989 and 1993. The 1990 National Coach of the Year, he's assisted by Debbie Green and Jerry Estes. Kerry Walsh, off shoulder surgery earlier, had problems during the year, but supposedly near 100%. As Long Beach, right off the bat, they're using a jump serve of Misty May. Misty May, a 5'9" junior out of Costa Mesa, grew up on the beaches of Santa Monica, California, came in with 47 aces. Sharpley will back set, and over the top, the ball cannot be dug up.
Kerry Walsh was last year's most valuable player in the national championship tournament. Just a sophomore, has had an amazing 2 years, is playing the healthiest that she's been all season though right now.
Set left, the ball dribbles over and drops right in front of Sharpley. So not an impressive hit for Veronica Walls, sophomore from Austin, Texas, but she gets the kill. And the side out to Long Beach. Most people think game 1 critical for Long Beach to get its offense untracked. Stanford has the experience. Here's Walsh, and she whacks it out down the line. Long Beach 2 and Stanford nothing. Long Beach, a great defensive team. The longer the rally goes, probably the better for the 49ers.
Talking to Gimmilero earlier today, he said, we have not been outdug in a match in at least a couple of years. Long Beach State prides itself on its defense. I think Brian Gimmilero is one of the best defensive coaches in the country.
Stanford off to its customary slow start. The ball poked up and it drops 3-0 in game 1. Long Beach State in white with the lead. The Cardinal wearing Cardinal.
You talk about Stanford's slow start. That's something they're accustomed to. They like to take their time to get to know their opponent. Game 1 is crucial for Long Beach and not as crucial for the Cardinals.
Terrific serve by Jamie Gregory. 5'8" sophomore out of Westminster, California. That's her 11th ace on the year, and she's jumping it up again. Good pass, Misty May jukes it over. Great up by Jamie Gregory. Ball dug by the beach. They'll set right side and over the top. The put away for Veronica Walsh. Now you're going to watch Misty May when she's in the front line hit and attack at every indication. She had 217 kills on 444 attempts.
And Chris, she was actually in the back row on that last attempt. As long as she's on her feet or behind the 10-foot line, she can still attack from the back court.
Into the middle, trying to set the quick set to Nikki Crump. It did not go. Around the horn goes Barbara Afedjica, and it's 4-1 Long Beach.
Stanford wants to run the middle as often and as quick as they can. John Shaw thinks that his middle blocking tandem is quicker than that of Long Beach's.
Benaishi Dillard with the serve, a second-team All-America this year. Here's Lisa Sharpley, and Afedjica whacks it off the hands, out of bounds.
I don't think I have ever seen Afedjica make 2 hitting errors in a row. She's a 4-year starter, and I think she's one of the most consistent hitters to ever go through Don Shaw's program.
Barbara Afedjica, perhaps the most successful foreign player ever. She has already won 2 NCAA titles and could have a third by the time this weekend's over. Ball is dug up. They'll give it to Walsh out of the back line. She unravels. Ball dug. Little tip shot. And that ball's going over and out. The put away. So Long Beach will get the ball back. Long Beach finished with a record of 33-1. We lost to Florida this year, 3-2 on September 20th. And now serving will be backline substitute Dana Biltman. Long Beach substitutes a lot. Is that good or bad?
Well, it's good unless you get into a long game. Don Shaw wants to side out quite a bit so that Jim Alaro runs out of substitutions. He will use all 12 in every game. They are automatic back row substitutions.
Misty May jams long and gets it.
Brian Gimolero believes in specialists and specializing in each position, so he tries to make the most out of every sub he has.
So Croatian Anja Grabovac to serve, a sophomore from Rijeka, Croatia. And that ball hits straight down. Paula McNamee getting the kill.
And she is the one new starter off of this last year championship squad. They returned 5 starters, McNamee in for Eileen Murphy, and McNamee actually considered a quicker middle blocker.
Back set, Stanford can get a point here. Shoveling it over was Sharpley. And on the left side, ball is drilled by Jen Snyder. And Long Beach touched the net. Misty May questioning the call. Tom Pingle is our first referee. Patty Salvatore is down.
And Stanford mixing things up in that last rotation. Carrie Walsh actually blocking left, Gregory blocking right, giving Long Beach a different look.
May will set left. She's got one-on-one, and Snyder hits it directly into the antenna.
Wow, anytime Jen Snyder is one-on-one, she has got to put the ball away. What Stanford is doing is committing on the middle because Walsh is such a good one-on-one blocker.
4-3 as Stanford comes back from a 4-1 deficit. And they take advantage of the shorter blocker. There's a weakness for Stanford. Jamie Gregory is a fabulous player, but she's only 5'8", and she can be a liability at the net blocking.
Well, and I think that that L2 position for Stanford is the X factor, whether it's Gregory or Sarah Clark. That position has to be effective in this match.
Stephanie Streaks, the backline sub, comes in to serve, and a put away for Barbara Afedjica. Afedjica, a 6'2" senior from Brampton, Ontario, Canada. McNamee has 4 kills to open it up, so Stanford trying to get its middle attack going. And now serving is Sarah Neal. Back set, Dillard is rejected.
Wow, great timing by Afedjica and Gregory, recognizing Dillard's going behind the setter. Misty May not as deceptive that time, and Gregory coming up with the big stuff.
Key is the pass for Long Beach. They got to get the ball up where May can do something. One-on-one is Snyder, and Snyder puts it away. I think she's the key for Long Beach. She came from Arizona State. She is a great lethal hitter when she's on, but sometimes she can be erratic. They need her to put the ball down consistently tonight.
Yeah, she's known as a little bit of a mystery player. She has had some big matches, though. 17 double-figure kills this season.
Barbara Afedjica, and the ball cannot be dug up by Long Beach.
Soft tip by Afedjica, works for the goal.
Stanford with the ball. 4-4, early action, game 1. Chris Marlowe, Heather Cox, Misty May back set, little combination play down the line. Jen Snyder hitting the back combo. So Jen Snyder will serve it. She's a senior from Glendale, Arizona. Powerful player. Serving deep and working on Neal. Sharpley, who's been bothered by knee problems this year, sets it out to Gregory. And once again, Gregory whacks it into the block. Long Beach in transition. May back set. And the put away. Veronica Walls. You see the value of Misty May. Jump setting. Very, very deceptive. You're not sure exactly where the ball's going.
May does a magnificent job getting her hitters one-on-one opportunities.
She was the two-time high school player of the year. She's been the Big West Conference player of the year twice. And a lot of people think she's going to be the player of the year at the national level. It's really between Misty May and Kristen Focal, we think now, for that coveted honor.
Yeah, the third player might be Terry Zamitis out of Penn State. That award to be handed out on Friday.
5-4, Long Beach by 1. May sets Grabovats, and the Stanford blockers. The Stanford blockers so confused they bumped into each other that time.
Well, the Stanford block is third in the nation. They are a great blocking team, but if Misty May can be deceptive, Stanford's going to have a hard time talking.
Nikki Crump is back in the front line. 5-4 Long Beach. Left side going over the top. Ball dug by Long Beach. They'll set high left. Grabovats pounds it down the line. Now she is the weaker of the two outside hitters. Grabovats only hits 205, so they need to get her one-on-one. 6-4 Long Beach. Sharpley sets left. Here comes Focal, and Long Beach touched the net. No, check that. Stanford touched the net. It might have been Sharpley backing into the net. So Long Beach has its biggest lead now of 7-4. Ball spiked out of bounds, and the Beach gets another point.
Wow, and a new wrinkle out of the playbook. That's the first slide I've seen Focal hit all season.
Game 1, national semifinal number 2. Brian Gimalero's Long Beach State 49ers off to a hot start at 8-4. Welcome back to the Spokane Arena. Women's semifinal number 2, Stanford and Long Beach State. Hi, everybody. Chris Marlowe and Heather Cox. The first shots have been fired. The war is now raging. Stanford and Long Beach, give me the keys for both teams.
Well, for Stanford, they really need to feed off of their national championship experience, and they're third in the nation in hitting percentage. They don't look like it right now. 5 early hitting errors for Stanford. For Long Beach, I think it's crucial that they win game 1. Their outside hitters also have to put up big numbers, and Misty May has to continue to be very deceptive, getting their hitters one-on-one.
Stanford off to a very, very slow start. They're trying to get loose before Long Beach runs out game 1. It is 8-4. As Lisa Sharpley sets left to Kristen Focal. Ball is dug. Misty May will set back. Walls was blocked. They'll set May out of the back line. She takes a whack at it. And apparently there was no touch. That's something you'll see a lot. You don't see that from any other team in the nation. Long Beach will set Misty May when she makes a dig a lot.
Well, and Misty May makes a lot of digs. She leads the nation, or excuse me, the team in digs, and there's the no call, the 4-hit call. So Misty May will take a lot of swings, both on the second attack and whenever she digs.
Set left, one-on-one, Grabovats. Great dig by Jamie Gregory. Set left, here comes Focal. She tips it down the line. May calling for it. They'll scoop it to her, and she goofy foots one cross court. So Misty May out of the back line, whacks it down.
Well, you know, Misty May was recruited out of high school as the top outside hitter in the country in high school. She came to Long Beach and was going to be a setter maybe in her second or third year, but Debbie Green saw her hands and transformed her into a setter immediately.
Into the middle, ball popped up. May coming for a quick set. They set Grabovats instead. Nice dig by Afedjica. Sharpley sets left. And Long Beach digging. Again, May pops it over. Gotta watch May on every play. May shoots it long. Afedjica is there. 8-4 Long Beach. Here comes Walsh. Walsh is blocked. And down. Point Long Beach. Wow, Long Beach looks great here early in game 1.
Well, Long Beach's defense is creating a great transition game. They're converting from defense to offense and scoring points. Stanford making too many errors early on.
Timeout called. And we are coming back. Game 1, Don Shaw a little bit concerned. His Stanford Cardinal trailing by 5. Spokane Arena, Long Beach out to a quick start, leading 9-4. Long Beach State assistant coach is Debbie Green, one of the most recognizable names in volleyball. She's considered the greatest setter America has ever had, the silver medal team in Los Angeles, and she is the personal guru to Misty May.
And there's certainly a reason that Misty May has the hands that she does. Debbie Green, I talked to her right before the match, and she said Misty May, no doubt, should be the Olympic setter in the year 2000.
Paula McNamee off to a great start. She has 5 early kills. However, Long Beach is leading 9-4.
Well, that's because the Stanford outside hitters have not been able to produce yet.
Walsh is one-on-one against Grabovats. Now there's a matchup you don't want, and Misty May is going to have to recognize where Walsh is and set away from her, because she has the longest arms in volleyball.
Yeah, May needs to realize that even though Walsh is one-on-one with the hitter, she will stuff block. The last half of the season, Walsh has had her middle blockers commit. She's been one-on-one.
9-5 is our score. That ball hit out. Was there a touch? Yes, there was.
Misty May tries to set as many balls with her hands as she can. Watch this. Instead of the bump set, goes off of her knees, redirects the ball. You don't see that very often.
Anya Grabovats with the serve, and she serves it a foot out of bounds. So the ball back to Stanford. Stanford's record 32-2. The Pac-10 champions. Look at the hitting percentages. Long Beach up big, 450 to 174.
And you're seeing 2 of the top 3 teams in the nation in hitting. Long Beach leads. They averaged 324 on the season. Stanford right behind it, 316.
Nikki Crump, the nation's leading hitter in percentage at 435. Looked a little tentative on that first one. Now set left, here comes Snyder. Snyder trying to hit over Gregory, and maybe that's a good matchup for Stanford, because Snyder is usually a very low, powerful hitter, and if she tries to hit over Gregory, that's really not her game.
Yeah, all Gregory needs to do is get her palms over the net and seal and protect, just like that.
Bump left, here comes Snyder, and Snyder pops it through. She's much better trying to sizzle the pits than go up high. That's her game.
I agree. She especially likes to hit the seam, and she loves that sharp cross-court angle.
9-7 substitution. Here comes Stephanie Streaks, 5'9" senior from Gering, Nebraska, the valedictorian of her high school class. McNamee gets blocked. Whip it left side, Gregory off speed. On the attack, Misty May sets left. Snyder is her put away. Didn't get it that time. Here comes Walsh. Set was low, and the ball goes down.
And surprisingly, that's just Walsh's second kill. She's now hitting 0 with 2 kills and 2 errors.
See the patch on Kerry Walsh's arm. What is that, a little string thing to keep her going there?
It's actually a tape job that she and the trainer have been working with all season. They finally found the right combination where she doesn't have any pain and her shoulder actually stays in place on her arm swing. Up until about 3/4 of the way through the season, Kerry Walsh was tipping the ball because they hadn't found a way to keep her shoulder in the right position.
You saw Lindsay Kagawa come in and jump serve into the net. Now Misty May with a jumper. This should be a point. And no, it's not. Right at the net, Benaishi Dillard hit it out of bounds. So the junior from Kent, Washington off to a slow start, and the middle blockers for the Beach really have to produce.
And look at this, Kerry Walsh with the jumper. That's the first jump serve in the entire season, and Kerry Walsh gets an ace off of it. She led her team last year in aces behind a great jump serve. Because of her shoulder trouble, she has not jumped once this entire season in competition.
So the shoulder must be feeling good. The promising Walsh, who's certain to be on the Olympic team in the year 2000. 9-8, Long Beach leading game 1. Great pass there, sharply left side, and the ball hit out of bounds, trying to work it to Gregory. So Long Beach gets a point, 10-8. They don't set Gregory that much because she is a short outside hitter. You want her to be one-on-one also if you're sharply. Into the middle and rejected. Dillard was there, and Efejica couldn't get the gun out of the holster there.
Well, Dillard has such long arms and big hands. Watch her on the block. She keeps an eye on. Look at the penetration. Great job.
Efejica coming around the horn, and that spike is just out of bounds. This is a tough rotation for Stanford. They're stuck, and it's 12-8 Long Beach, game 1. Don Shaw sitting on his last timeout. He'll take it if they give up a point here, probably. Gregory, little tip. Here comes Misty May, right side, and Walsh. Kagawa goes and gets it. Walsh scoops it up. Nice play by Lindsay Kagawa. And up high. Good play by Stanford. Misty May back set, Walls, nobody on her, and she crunches it.
There's that offense, fast and dynamic. Vintage Brian Gimolero.
13-8 now. A 4-0 run for Long Beach, and Stanford takes its final timeout. We're coming back. Game 1, Long Beach in control. Back at the beautiful Spokane Arena, Washington State, the host school for this year's NCAA championships. Long Beach leading 13-8. One of these teams is going down. Long Beach wins it every odd year, every 4 years, and Stanford wins it every even year. Well, most even years.
So if you're a betting man, who do you go with, Marlo?
Well, I go with the team that wins game 1.
There you go.
Don Shaw and Brian Gimolero, 2 of the great coaches in the country. Stanford having trouble getting on track, and Long Beach has been playing brilliantly. And Veronica Walls, if you haven't seen her, you've been missing it. She was a redshirt last year, and she came from Albert Johnson High School in Austin, Texas, a sophomore, and she is off to a very, very hot start. 5 kills as Long Beach has its first game point. A very impressive performance so far. Gregory, and the dig is going out of bounds. I think Long Beach would like to see that a lot, Heather. A lot of sets going to Jamie Gregory on the left, because they can defend that.
Well, what they're forcing them to do with some very tough serving is Gregory is the only option for Sharpley. With better ball control, Stanford's offense should get rolling.
Focal now in the left front. Misty May can't get that one. Bad pass, good serve by Jamie Gregory. Jamie Gregory's father, Gerald, a star in the USA national team in the 70s. Her mother, Sally, was a water polo player, so she has good genes. Very, very athletic.
In fact, her father, Jerry, also a teammate of Don Shaw's.
Brandy Barrett has come in. The front line for Long Beach State. She's a local from Spokane. They block the ball. Long Beach, Misty May on the attack. They set Barrett. She gets blocked. Barrett scoop right side. Here comes Wall. She's blocked. Misty May shoots it left. That's a bad set. And Grabovat sets it up. Good dig in the backcourt by May. Walsh is there. Sharpley sets left. And Focal hits it out. Wow. Stanford, very, very sloppy hitting. And Long Beach wins game 1, 15-9.
The teams change sides, but Long Beach State.
So, Brandy Barrett, the sophomore from Spokane, Washington, playing in front of her home crowd. She gets in on late action in game 1. Brian Gimolero's squad leading 1-0. Number 2, Stanford pounding away against Long Beach State. Now, due to time constraints, let's pick up action a little further in our match. Back at the Spokane Arena, national semifinal number 2 unfolding in an intriguing way. The Beach with game 1, Stanford leading solidly in game 2. Women's college basketball coming your way. Please join us for the Honda Elite 4. That will be Saturday at 4:30 p.m. Game 1, UConn going up against Stanford. And then you have to switch to the Deuce for Iowa and Vanderbilt. That's 7:30 Eastern. Now make that 7 Eastern, 4 p.m. Pacific. Welcome back, Chris Marlowe and Heather Cox. 13-9, Stanford by 4. Long Beach in white with the serve. Sharply out of the back row to Walsh, and Walsh hits it right into the middle of the net. Long Beach starting to get a little momentum. 13-10 now. Don Shaw, Stanford's coach, has 1 timeout remaining. Here comes Focal, and Focal over the top and down.
And that's vintage Kristen Focal. That's the type of hit she's been doing all season. Sharp right inside, as you would say, sizzling the pits.
Focal and Walsh now in the front line together. Back set, running under it was Walls. And May shoots it over. And down.
It's amazing. The entire Stanford squad knew that May was dumping it over, and they still couldn't get it. Everybody's yelling, go. Great deception, though, the little jump set out of the back row, but because she's below the top of the net, it's legal.
Serving is Dana Biltman, who's in there now. Here comes Focal. And over the top and down goes the great Kristen Focal, 2 sports star at Stanford. She is going to play basketball this year.
side out.
And joined Tara Vanderveer's squad in late December.
Actually has 2 more years of eligibility left on the basketball squad.
Pretty good
Might
pass.
go pro next year, though.
May shoots it left in the big roof. McNamee and Walsh. 14-10. Walsh with her 3rd block. So Stanford with its first game point. Kristen Fogle serving. Shank pass. Trouble on the left. Grabovac tips. This should be it. Into a Fejica. No, May. And is that okay? I guess it is. Stanford on the attack. Look out below. Walsh puts it away. And that will do it for game 2. Stanford wins it 15-10. So national semifinal number 2 is deadlocked. Long Beach won a game. Stanford won a game, and we'll continue with our coverage of the national championship right after this. Number 2, Stanford pounding away against Long Beach State. Now, due to time constraints, let's pick up action a little further in our match. If you just joined us, Long Beach State won game 1. Stanford rebounding in game 2. Long Beach in the white uniform, Stanford in their traditional cardinal. Here's Kerry Walsh, the tournament MVP last year, and that's going to be a kill for Walsh. Walsh, 8 kills, 3 blocks, and an ace for the lanky one.
And the Stanford offense has gotten much more diversified. Kerry Walsh more of a factor in that back row attack, which gives Long Beach a different look.
Misty May back sets. Walsh souffles one out of bounds. Point Stanford.
Well, Walls has been streaky. She was hot in the first game. 8 kills, no errors, has just 1 kill and 5 errors since then.
Shank pass. They'll set Fogle, won't they? Yes. Here she comes. And she's dug up. Misty May into the middle to Dillard. Walsh sets it left. Free ball. Long Beach back set. Trying to get Walls going. And they're digging Walls now. Fogle cranks it. And Long Beach can't come up with it. So the power of Stanford starting to pay off. Kerry Walsh with the nice hands going to the left side. And Brian Jamilaro a little concerned now. His team trailing 5-2.
Long Beach was able to contain Fogle in the beginning of this match by digging her across court. Now they can't transition off her hip.
And Stanford playing great defense. Fogle streaks with the dig. And streaks off speed. UC Santa Barbara coach Kathy Gregory was quoted as saying this week, someone told me this, that this is the best digging Stanford team that she had seen under Don Shaw. Big, strong players hitting, blocking the net, but this was the best digging team that they have had, and they are certainly showing it. It's hard to get the ball down on Stanford now.
Yeah, I think the most improved defensive player has to be Kristen Fogle. That's the biggest skill I've seen improvement from last year to this year. Very quick and instinctive, very reactive to the ball.
Stanford 6-2 now, make it 6-3 with that serve. That might be Long Beach. It is. Long Beach's first ace. So make it 6-3 now as Long Beach, the #1 offense in the nation, has kind of gone into the tank because of poor passing. And that ball is in there. Kerry Walsh.
Corners the kill.
And here comes Sarah Clark. So Don Shaw waiting a couple of rotations. He goes around with Gregory, who played well, and now Sarah Clark comes in to play the front line. 6-footer.
Shaw anticipating a long, lengthy side-out battle in this game. Wants to save Clark for the front row later in the game.
Here comes Fogle, and Fogle is stuffed by Benaishi Dillard. Long Beach getting up the wall that time on Fogle.
And actually this time it's Walls putting up the wall in the middle. She's on the floor because of her great blocking, and her offense has been key in this game too.
6-3. Over the top, Grabovac is dug. And a free ball coming over for Long Beach. May on the attack. And one of the weaker paintbrushes you'll ever see floats out of bounds.
You know, I haven't seen Misty May attack as much as normal in regular season and in the 2 prior NCAA tournament games. She's attacking maybe 1 out of every 3 or 4 balls.
2 words, Heather. Crummy passing.
That'll do it.
Crummy passing. She can't get the ball up at the net.
Shoot it over at the 10-foot line if she has to.
Not getting her up to the net. Grabovac one-on-one. Great soft block by Walsh. X-play. Walsh tip. Score it. Kerry Walsh.
Well, that Long Beach defense that's so good has dug in. They're expecting a very hard hit. Walsh deceptive, shows tip at the last minute, and Snyder not able to get it up.
Sarah Neal, the top defensive specialist for Stanford, and May tries to jam, and Afedjico was there. So Long Beach State taking a quick timeout. 49ers having trouble solving the big block of Stanford. 8-3, Cardinal. The state of Washington, we're at the beautiful Spokane Arena. Stanford and Long Beach State tied 1 game apiece, but the Cardinal with a big advantage here in game 3. And there's a man who does not get enough credit for what he's done at Stanford, Don Shaw. I have a theory, because he's a tall, athletic coach, they don't think he knows X's and O's, but he's made the right moves tonight, hasn't he?
I think he has done a tremendous job with the adjustments, and he has worked with smoke and mirrors most of the season with Walsh and Sharpley not at 100%, and they still go undefeated in the Pac-10 and are the team to beat in the championships.
8-3 our score. Stanford starting to turn it on behind Walsh, and Walsh got the touch.
Walsh is big time in big matches. Because she hasn't been able to swing at a lot of balls this season, she is at her peak and having so much fun, just really taking advantage of the fact that she can finally play.
Walsh is humming. Misty May sets Nikki Crump, and Crump gets the kill. It's 9-3 here in game 3. As Long Beach State trying to hang in, and Stanford looking for the knockout punch. Good up by Sarah Neal. Clark pops it over. May sets left. Here comes Snyder. Oh, Snyder got a break. Neal touched it, and Snyder gets the kill. Sometimes a rally can start with a little play like that as the Beach gets to 4. Serving is Grabovac from Croatia. Actually came on her own to Long Beach, paid her way with no scholarship offer. She wasn't recruited. It turned out to be a pretty darn good player.
She actually found out about Long Beach State by coming to its volleyball camp when she was in high school. Actually came from Croatia to Long Beach just to learn from Gimelero.
Sarah Clark got the kill. There's Grabovac, and the serve by Walsh into the net. 9-4, score remains. And here comes Stephanie Streaks, the psychology major, back to serve.
Not too shabby, 3.7 GPA.
Yeah, 4.0 in high school, so she's a brain. And inside the block goes Sarah Clark. Clark with 6 kills. She has been a key member. She and Jamie Gregory doing a good job in splitting that L2 or left front position.
Yeah, the two of them make a perfect combination.
Just long side up to the 49ers.
Now Misty May will serve, but not before Veronica Walls comes back in. Long Beach has to get on a hot streak. It looks like Long Beach has lost some confidence. You look in their faces, and they're not the team that was really humming and clicking in game 1. A lot of stares kind of now.
Well, the big question mark I have for Long Beach is whether or not they can sustain the level of defense that they played in the first game and the first part of the second game throughout this entire match, because that's really what fuels their fire and makes them such a great team.
Misty May with no attacks, or no kills, I should say, in this game. So she has not been part of the offense. 10-4 now, 25th hitting error for Long Beach State. Well, we said earlier that if Long Beach couldn't pass the ball, they would have trouble, and they have. When they get the good pass, the triple option is working, and Snyder gets the kill.
And controlling the net is key. When they can be effective offensively and with the block, they will do well. Right now, 2 blocks behind Stanford with just 4. If they can get that offense humming, that'll be the difference.
Great pass there. And the put away on the left.
Well, Kristen Focal in the regional finals against UC Santa Barbara became the single-season all-time kill leader for Stanford, and she's getting right back into form after a rather slow start.
And that ball's not coming over, and the route is on. Stanford with another point, 11-4. Long Beach sitting on 1 timeout. May back set, Walls rejected. Focal was there.
Well, in the first game, it was Stanford's outsides that couldn't produce. In this game, it's Long Beach's outsides, 2 of 3, hitting negative in this match.
Timeout, the final one taken by Long Beach. The Beach in big trouble here, trailing 12-4 in game 3. We're tied at 1 game apiece here in Spokane, Washington. Big crowd on hand watching Stanford assert itself against Long Beach State. One of the women who is coming on, Kristen Fokel, the 6'2" senior from St. Louis, Missouri. She's been a relatively successful player.
That's about as perfect as you can get, and it didn't even start in college and high school in both volleyball and basketball. Made it to every state championship, so she doesn't really know what it's like to lose.
Long Beach in white struggling passing. They're having trouble putting the ball down now. And Stanford block looks very, very impressive. Stanford with a front line of Focal, McNamee, and Walsh. This is the biggest, best front line in volleyball. Some giants up there.
Well, and as long as Long Beach's ball control suffers, Misty May isn't able to be deceptive, and Stanford can get 2 blockers up on every hitter.
13-4 plus good defenders in the backcourt. Here comes Walls, and she's stuffed again. Focal putting on a clinic. Second stuff for Focal.
And now Stanford has doubled the team blocks. 18 blocks for Stanford, 4 for Long Beach. Again, we get back to controlling the net. In all of Stanford's losses in the last 4 years, the winner has been able to control the net. That's the only time that Stanford has lost.
Stanford head coach Don Shaw. A little bit earlier this week, we decided to ask Don Shaw, is your team, is your program, Stanford, the team of the 90s? This is what he told us. Listen.
That's for other people to worry about. They're my team, and I'm glad they are. I'm in a great situation. I love my players. I love where I'm working. Like Joe Walsh says, life's been good to me so far. So I don't worry about that kind of thing.
First title win, 1992 over UCLA. You might remember some of those players. Kim Oden, Carrie Feldman, Jennifer Jackson, Piper Hahn, Wendell, Triefenbach, Paso. Let's see what this senior class has done. Not too bad.
Amazing. 8 losses in all 4 seasons.
Yeah, what were they doing during those 8 matches? Gosh, come on.
A couple of slackers, 2 of them this year to Penn State. And this senior class, 5 seniors have really built this program for Don Shaw. Not that it wasn't too shabby prior to this senior class coming in, but they've really reached that plateau.
First game point for Stanford. Stanford on the near side of the court and serving it sharply, and Long Beach can't get out of this rotation. That time they do. Nice Dillard.
Dillard with the kill. She'll step back to serve.
Wanted to put it away just a moment ago. Shaw, not that time. Should have had my blockers jump. Dillard gets the ball back. Long Beach needs a miracle to come back. What would be good for Long Beach is just get some momentum going into game 4. I doubt that they're going to win this one.
The blocking, putting up a good block creates good defense, and Long Beach hasn't been able to do that in this game.
9 kills for McNamee, 14-4. Stanford's second game point on the serve. May, this could be it. It should be it. Back set. Bye-bye. Carrie Walsh racks up another kill, and that will do it for game 3. Don Shaw's Stanford Cardinal now leading 2-1. We'll come back. We'll have more from Spokane, Washington right after this. Welcome back to the Spokane Arena. Chris Marlowe and Heather Cox. Stanford now leading Long Beach State 2-1, and it looks like, barring a big Long Beach State rally, that the Stanford Cardinal will play the Penn State Nittany Lions in the final, and the Lions are scouting and watching right now. Watching
right
this
there. Carrie
performance.
Schoenfeld, 17 kills for Carrie, the blonde in the middle.
That's right. How long do you let your team watch this, or would this be intimidating?
I think you stay the entire time. They're so used to playing Stanford, but they've never played Long Beach, so they need to take as many X's and O's as they can.
Don't forget, Saturday live, 3 Eastern, 12 Pacific. Penn State will play the winner of this one. Not over yet. Long Beach won game 1, looked very impressive, but the Niners really have to regroup now because the hitting percentages are anemic. But Stanford hitting .452 in game 3. That's the highest percentage that a team has hit against Long Beach State in a game this year. Stanford just overpowering the Niners.
Long Beach State has held its opponents to a .115 hitting percentage on the season. And don't forget, Long Beach leads the nation in hitting percentage. That tells you how important this offense is to the 49er game.
McNamee brings it down the front of the block.
Put away, McNamee gets another one. And now Lisa Sharpley will serve.
And I like it again, Don Shaw sticking with the rotation that he's accustomed to, starting with its strength. This is the strongest rotation Stanford has, with Sharpley serving.
If Edgica got blocked, Sharpley will back set, and Walsh Brinches another one. After a slow start, Walsh is rolling. 13 kills, 4 errors, 333. She's got 8 digs and some blocks, big blocks. Ace serve.
Stanford's serving game has been on fire. 8 aces now, and again, this is a team that doesn't serve aces. They just serve good areas. Tonight, a different story.
Best rotation right now for Stanford. McNamee in the middle, surrounded by Walsh and Focal. Let's check Walsh blocking-wise. That's her 4th stuff block.
Watch the form, the penetration. There's absolutely no way you're getting by that.
3-0. It's going fast now as Stanford steamrolling Long Beach. Walsh sets up quick, and McNamee puts it away.
And Long Beach's defense has just gone home. In the last game and a half, the Long Beach defense has not rallied, and that's their bread and butter, winning the long rallies.
How long do you wait to call a timeout if you're Brian Gimolero? He doesn't like to call timeouts.
And how frustrating must this be for Gimolero, who's such an intense competitor and has trained his team so well to see them perform. He's got to be very disappointed.
Well, Stanford is just putting the pressure on Long Beach. Not much anybody can do right now. Free ball. Walsh. You know, when you evaluate the talent level, Walsh and Focal, really, they're the 2 best offensive players in the match, don't you think?
Definitely. I mean, look at that. Long Beach's block has got to wait on Walsh. They're going up too early because Walsh has such a good hang time.
Ball spiked out of bounds. Point Stanford. 5-0 now. 30 hitting errors on the night for Long Beach. Just getting a lot of pressure at the net from some big blockers. Focal with a dig. Back set, here comes Walsh. She tips. See ya. Carrie Walsh. If she's not on the 2000 Olympic team, I'm not going to Sydney.
Well, a lot of people say that both Walsh, Focal, and possibly Sharpley will be main contenders on that roster.
I think so, along with Misty May and a number of other players, perhaps Terry Zamaitis, Bonnie Bremner. A lot of talent here.
In fact, Mick Haley, the United States national team and Olympic coach, is here scouting. He said he was very impressed with some players that he saw yesterday in practice.
6-0 is our score. Game 3. Brian Gimolero still no timeout. Down the line, look out below. Oh, Walsh. She's human. She missed one. She fanned on it.
Point for the 49ers.
You don't see that very often. 6-1 as Long Beach gets off the schneid, and down the line there goes Walsh again. Remember, we told you that Long Beach had not been outdug in a match in maybe a year and a half, according to Brian Gimolero. Right now, Long Beach has 50 digs, and Stanford has 51. It's going to be close. Misty May sets left. And down the line goes Anya Grabovats. Grabovats was effective in game 1. Cooled off a little. 4 kills, 6 errors. And she will serve. 6-1, game 3. Stanford wins this game. They're going to the championship final against Penn State. Good set by... One thing I really like about Lisa Sharpley, I mean, Walsh is great. But when Lisa Sharpley gets a hot hitter, she goes to her over and over, and I love that in the center. Don't distribute. Just keep going to whoever's on fire.
You have to go to the hot shoulder.
That's a smart play. Why not? If they can't stop her, Nikki Crump thumps one through. 8 kills for Crump.
Crump, a member of the Pacific Region All-Tournament team, has had a very hot tournament, 3 games that she's played in.
Stephanie Streaks is in, senior from Gehring, Nebraska. And Long Beach got a block.
Benaishi Dillard and Jen Snyder combined for the block.
Benaishi Dillard, Jen Snyder there. And it's 6-2. Does Long Beach have anything left to rally with? We'll see. Streak serving.
if they're going to rally, Misty May has to become more involved offensively. She really hasn't taken any attacks. And Sarah Clark having her way. Clark has really been a spark plug coming in off the bench in the second game.
You know, it's hard to give credit to some of the supporting players for Stanford, but Sarah Clark is an outstanding volleyball player, and she has showed it.
And at this point now, staying in the back row, replacing Gregory.
Pretty good set there by Misty May. There is Sarah Clark.
And hey, if that name sounds familiar, her father, Gordon, invented the foam surfboard. Ever surfed on a Clark surfboard before?
No, I had a Bing surfboard.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
A little trivia there for you.
Yeah, they didn't even have foam surfboards when I was little. It was they were made of balsa wood. They were very, very heavy. Off the block, ball popped up by Sharpley. Focal shovels it over. 6-2 our score. Long Beach sets left and slam big. Lisa Sharpley, she's a tall setter, 6-footer from Los Altos, California.
Yesterday, Brian Gemolero talked about getting Stanford out of its rhythm. After watching so much tape, he said that's what you have to do, get them out of their natural offensive rhythm. They were able to do that in the first game, but you have seen Stanford just steamroll because they are playing their game the way they want to, forcing Long Beach to adjust.
Stanford is physical. Plus, they did. You have to give a lot of credit to the Stanford coaching staff, Don Shaw, Denise Corlett, and Ann Wicks. This is a machine, 10 kills for Focal. There is Don Shaw. A lot of people give a lot of credit to Denise Corlett, who does a lot of the...
Well, I think Denise Corlett is probably the best assistant coach in the nation. In fact, Debbie Green would rival for first or second. These two assistants are by far the best that we've seen, and they played huge roles in these teams' success.
8-2, Afedjica, 3 aces. The rout is on as Stanford is mauling Long Beach State. Slow start game 1 to Stanford, humming now, leading 8-2 in game 4. Join ABC Sports on Saturday, 3:30 p.m. The Wendy's 3-Tour Challenge. One of the main men you can see, yes, the great Jack Nicklaus. Well, speaking of great, Carrie Walsh, the 6'2" sophomore from Saratoga, California, racking up the numbers.
She is playing like the first-team All-American that she is. Don't forget, she plays her best in the big matches. Most valuable player as a freshman of last year's national championship tournament.
Stanford in 2 games on a 21-4 run. Aces, a huge story. 10 for Stanford, 1 for Long Beach. And it's 9-2. Long Beach trying to hang on here. May sets. Dillard tries to jam. Another dig by Stanford. Stanford leading the digs, 54-51 now. Left side, here comes Focal, blocked. Into the middle. Sharply dishing a little bit. Nobody there. So Long Beach gets a break. I don't think Long Beach has played all that badly. It's just that Stanford, the bigger, more physical team, has kind of taken it to Long Beach.
Well, and I think the Aces tell the story all season long. The one negative on this Long Beach squad was that they don't have the ball control and the passing that they need, and that's been evident tonight.
Well, generally, hasn't Long Beach been considered a good passing team?
Not a great passing team, though. That's been the one knock, and it's because they've been so great at every other strength. I've talked to a lot of coaches in the Big West who say that that is the one area that you can really exploit.
Well, Stanford's been able to do that tonight with some strong serving and towering blocking. That ball, a little waffle going over the top and down. Dillard, let's check Dillard. She has 10 kills and 4 blocks. Nikki Crump goes back into the front line. Long Beach looking for anything that will spark them. Double quick, Focal. Chance for a point here. May shoots left. Grabovat's got it. Nice play there. That will make it 9-3.
Off the top of the block, she gets the
Grabovat's playing smarter attacks, has good knowledge of the game and good instincts. Had a little bit of a lull in the middle of this match, though.
Walsh, good pass. They'll set her on the left. Oh, and she blasts it. Misty May digs it. And over the top and down, Walsh goes. Interesting play there. Walsh pounding it down the line at Misty May, who popped it up nearly perfectly. May calls the play, looking for the pass. Back set. Dig by Focal. Another dig by Focal. Here comes Clark. Tip. Score it. Sarah Clark. She's excitable. She gets in there and plays with a lot of enthusiasm.
Clark, 8 kills, just 1 error. Long Beach not winning the long rallies. They'll terminate on serve receive. Otherwise, they've lost the rallies.
10-3, Stanford looking for 11, out to Clark. Pounds cross court, dug up by Long Beach. That's trouble, McNamee slap shot, yes.
Right now is where Misty May has got to take over. Start being more offensive. Talk to your players, lead this team. She hasn't taken any attacks in the last 2 games.
X-play and a good set, Veronica Walls.
Long Beach pulls the block on the X-play.
But if you can set your hitters like this, I guess there's no need to attack. Great job. That time McNamee fakes out with May. Middle attack wide open.
Dana Biltman is in to serve. Didn't play last year, a redshirt 2 years ago, utilized as a defensive specialist. Here comes Clark. Sharply in the middle. Walsh was sitting there, tapped it. 11-3 is our score. Ifejika. The one thing that Stanford has also is 5 players that can pass and play defense. A lot of teams just using a couple players to pass or play defense. That's one of Don Shaw's theories, that if you let everybody pass, everybody will become better at ball control and they'll be able to contribute defensively.
Well, and you see that in the front court as well. All the players so versatile. So often you'll see Walsh or Sharpley blocking middle, Focal blocking middle. They can all play every position so they don't get stuck out of rotation.
Anya Grabovat serving. And the side out back to Stanford.
On the service error, side out to the Cardinal. Walsh serving.
Long Beach is serving tonight. 1 ace and 4 errors. They've served it in. Stanford with 10 aces and 9 errors. Focal going for it. And Walsh plays it over. May, right side. And Walsh thunders.
Walsh feels it. She wants it. Every time in transition, she's calling after the ball, and Sarah Neal keeping the transition going. Watch her coming right at you, right in her basket, pops that ball up. Kristen Focal goes after it to keep it alive.
12-3 now as Jessica Alvarado will come in. She's playing with a broken left hand that she injured diving in practice, heavily taped. Really the only sub that Ryan Gemolero has to come in. And a nice play there, a rolling play by Alvarado.
And Alvarado hasn't seen any playing time. You see how heavily taped up that hand is. She avoids hitting the floor because she actually broke it on defense, running into the back of Misty May's shoe. This is the first playing time she's had since November 8th.
She's got the paw pad on. Maybe she can give Long Beach a spark. Misty May over the top and down.
That's what they need. Get May more involved. She can't be just a setter for this squad. She has to be a setter and a hitter.
7 kills for May. First since the middle of game 2. Stanford due for a let up, maybe. Jen Snyder tries to pop it off the block. She can't. Into the middle, tip. May back set. Dillard got it. Benaishi Dillard with the kill. 12-5 as Long Beach trying to come back. Game 4. Stanford leading Long Beach 2-1. Sharply.
Everything going the way of the Cardinal right now. Sharply had no reason to get a kill off of that play.
Yeah, she got it anyway. Sharply with 5 kills. Good serve. Alvarado, another spinner. Neal goes and gets it. Left side, Focal. Good block by May. May back set. And a collision there. Walsh. Wow, that has to scare you. Walsh and Ifejika.
Wow, watch this. The high D set by Sharply. Ifejika thinks it's just a late C. And very lucky that nobody injured on that play.
Sometimes that will happen if that ball's set at about the 6-foot line, which it was. Here comes Focal. Beautiful dig by Stephanie Streaks. Cross court. Scrambling is Clark. 12-5 is our score. Long Beach needs to convert on almost all these plays now. May, back set. Stanford on the attack. Sharpley takes a whack at it. No. Right side Alvarado just juices it over. May, quick set, boom. 12-6. 3 straight points for Long Beach. So the 49ers have not given up, showing the mark of a championship team. And coming back in is Veronica Walls, and going out is Alvarado. Jessica Alvarado gave the team a lift. Here comes May jumping. The back line to Walsh, and that tip is down. You have a back liner like Walsh who you can set a lot, even if you get a bad pass. As Jen Detmer comes in, a 6'3" freshman from Thousand Oaks, California. She is long and lanky.
Detmer comes in strictly as a blocking specialist. Great composure as a freshman.
She is a giant. She has 8 solos. She's up there with Focal and Sharpley. And through the hands and down. Don Shaw going to give the freshman a look. She played for the Spoilers in Manhattan Beach of Pat Sartman in club volleyball. Played track, volleyball, and basketball in high school. And timeout taken by Don Shaw. So this one not over yet. It's 12-7 as Long Beach trying to fight back and hang in. Got women's basketball coming up for you. Saturday night, 12:30 Eastern, the championship of the Northern Lights Invitational from Alaska. Defending national champion and #1 team in the nation, Tennessee, will be there, plus #10 Wisconsin. I'll show you that championship, 12:30 a.m. Eastern, 9:30 Pacific. Stanford this season 32-2, both losses to Penn State, #1 seed in the Mountain Regional. And another great year for Don Shaw's squad.
And those 2 losses very early in the season. The second loss on just September 6th. And remember, those were losses when both Carrie Walsh and Lisa Sharpley weren't 100%. So we are seeing an entirely different Cardinal squad tonight.
Penn State is in. They defeated Florida in 3 tight games, but did it 3-0. And Stanford just 3 points away. However, Long Beach was down 12-3 when Jessica Alvarado came in. And they since got 4 points. Once again, our final will be live. Penn State from the east, and it looks like Stanford from the west. Live.
State trying to become the first team to ever win a national title from the East. Texas, the only team to do it, even outside of California or Hawaii.
Well, we're talking about Nebraska. Don't forget the Nebraska Cornhuskers. Texas and Nebraska. And now a front line. Look at the giant front line for Stanford. Walsh 6'2", Detmer 6'3", and Focal 6'2". Detmer is there. Sliding. And they'll give it to Focal. No. Oh, a little campfire defense. Yeah, I might even call it the husband and wife. Can you have the husband and wife play with 6 women? I guess you can.
I call this the campfire. They've got to communicate. Somebody has got to step in. These are 5 starters from last year's championship team.
No communication, and Detmer cranks it on the line. So no. Tom Pingel's going to say out of bounds.
I wouldn't be surprised right now to see Shaw go back to McNamee in the front court. Get the experience out there.
12-8, 5 straight points for Long Beach. Walsh pumps it through. Good dig in the backcourt by Dillard. Stanford X-play. Walsh stuffed. Walls was there.
Well, we've said how great Long Beach's defense is. Thanks to Dillard, she keeps the transition alive, allows the Beach block to be effective. Crump and Walls forming a wall.
Detmer has to go out. McNamee back in. Focal dinks. Could be another point coming up. It's 12-9. Looking for 10. Grabovats blocked. Pushing it down. Yes, Veronica Walsh. Looks like a let up for Stanford. And Long Beach rallying with some guts and determination. It's now 12-10.
Stanford cannot hesitate right now. The Beach on a 7-0 run. It's time for them to capitalize behind some tough serving.
Scary game for Stanford. If the Cardinal were to lose this, we would go to rally scoring in game 5, which anything could happen. Good dig again. Here comes Walsh. She's dug. Oh, and Dillard can't get there.
Kerry Walsh having a career night, 21 kills for the sophomore.
Well, she's 1 short of her season high, which she got against Arizona, and she's 7 off her career high of 28 kills that she got against UCLA. Walsh off speed, shoved back. Tipped, block doesn't count, 3 contacts. May, middle. Back set. Both teams out of sync. May into the middle, tries to shoot it over. 12-10. Long Beach needs a put away, and it's into the antenna. The ball will go to Stanford.
Paula Maxime doing a great job. Heads-up play, moving lateral and lateral, side to side from antenna to antenna, keeping track of Misty May throughout the entire rally.
Timeout called by Long Beach. Stanford just 2 points away from moving into the final. We'll come back right after this. 13-10, game 4. Stanford leading the match 2-1. Chris Marlowe and Heather Cox. A reminder, 6 p.m. Eastern here on the Deuce. The Las Vegas Bowl. Air Force and Oregon running and passing. You can see that on Saturday, 6 Eastern on ESPN2. Well, Misty May, she'll be returning next year. May with 7 kills and 4 errors. Long Beach has fought its way back. Got to within 2 at 12-10, but now Stanford with Kristen Focal serving. Trying to put it away. May, back set, Crump with the thumb. So Long Beach hanging in. Long Beach 33-1 on the year, and a great team refusing to go away. Brian Gemolaro trying to do as much as he can, and the woman who sparked the rally, Jessica Alvarado. She came in at 12-3 a while ago, and now it's 13-10. Can Long Beach make a move here? Chance for a point. May, dish left. Grabovats got it. 13-11 now. Both teams have 1 timeout remaining. I think if Long Beach gets a point here, Don Shaw has to call his. Grabovat serving. Suddenly Walsh is hitting some zeros. That's his, oh, and the missed dig in the backcourt.
So many times Walsh has gone high hands off the block of Long Beach. And all season long, Long Beach has been able to dig those soft blocks, and against Walsh, they haven't. Ball control, a factor here.
Sarah Neal in. McNamee goes out, Neal serving. May, back set, Crump, and the ball poked up, and a freebie coming back. Long Beach on the attack, May, slam, dig, oh, Sharpley was there, Crump hits it anyway. So Long Beach getting a little confidence now. Stanford let up for a moment, and now they're not hitting with the authority that they did early in this game, and Long Beach seems like it's back in it. Big play here, 13-11, Clark pass, back set, here comes Walsh, dug up. May shoots it over. Didn't have much of a chance at it. Here comes Clark. And Clark, oh, what a spear by Jen Snyder. Here comes Clark again, and she's on the line. Long Beach complaining about the call.
I think there was actually a touch on that ball as well. So either way, a side out to Stanford.
Jim Alero indicating it was out by 6 inches. Tough to tell on that play. 13-11, Stanford and Walsh. Walsh could be tiring just a bit. Rammed that out about 60 feet.
Well, don't forget, she has not been jump serving all season long until tonight.
13-11, Nikki Crump serving. Long Beach trying to get to within 1. Long Beach right here, Dillard. Out of the back line, here comes Focal. Great dig by Alvarado. Set is up, Snyder. She can't put it away. Stanford goes and gets it. Clark off balance, out of bounds, and Long Beach has climbed back to within 1.
Jessica Alvarado, who was starting the entire season until November, the beginning of November, when she went out with an injury, is now sparking this Long Beach team.
Long Beach trying to tie it up. Here comes Focal. They'll have a chance right here. 13-12. Whip it over to Snyder. Couldn't get any wood on it. Stanford on the attack. Set left. Here comes Clark. And Clark is dug up. Looking to Snyder to terminate. Backing up. Oh, and she hits it into the bottom of the net. Wow. Big play there. She couldn't get her footing, kind of backing up. And Stanford now will resubstitute. Here comes Jamie Gregory, the serving specialist. And she replaces Clark. So Gregory already has 3 aces. And she's not going to jump serve. She's going to float. Looks like she's going short. Working on the line. May shoots it left side. Snyder, good shot. Jen Snyder recovering. And the score remains 13-12. Stanford in game 4. And Misty May going right back to her.
Yeah, she knows Jen Snyder and knows how disappointed she was in her error.
Long Beach's great rotation with Misty May in the back right. Oh, and Dillard stuffs it down. And we are tied at 13. And Stanford has to utilize its last timeout. Long Beach State is back in it. Down 12-3. We are now tied 13-13 in game 4. Don't go away. And Heather Cox, 13-13 in game 4. It was 12-3 when this woman came into the match. Long Beach was all but done for. Jessica Alvarado playing with a broken left hand. A junior from San Antonio, Texas, sparked a 10-1 run. And Stanford in trouble now. Long Beach with the momentum. Misty May serving, and she serves it out of bounds. Wow.
So a good timeout by Dawn Shaw. The break in momentum made Misty May think about her serve. Serve, receive, and ball control crucial. And now look, Jen Detmer back into the game to block for Dawn Shaw.
The 6'3" freshman will man the middle. Stanford serving. We're playing to 15, win by 2. Back set, bad set, and a worse hit. And Stanford gets to 14 first. Now Stanford will have its first match point. Can Long Beach hang in? Serving is Afejica. May back set. Alvarado, no, this could do it. No, bad bump set, and it's into the antenna. Wow. Both teams a little bit nervous right now. A tense game 4. And Dawn Shaw.
And right now, Misty May has got to be deceptive with the freshman middle blocker and fake her out, get your hitters one-on-one.
Long Beach down by 1, trying to tie it up, and Stanford into the net. I think Sharpley backed into the net again. She's got a ponytail. The ponytail hits it. It's not a net, but I think she backed in with her jersey. 14-14, win by 2, no cap. Out of the back line, Walls, patty cakes it. Chance for a point. Alvarado sets quick, and the slam dink is good.
Jessica Alvarado, who had to bump set every ball in practice yesterday, sticks her broken paw up for the assist.
Stanford is out of timeouts. Long Beach has the lead. First game point for Long Beach. Stanford trying to hang on. They go to their gun, Focal, and she puts it away. Kristen Focal. And now Focal, Walsh, and Benton are up there. Brian Gimlaro unofficially still has 1 timeout left. Walsh will go to the right side. 15-14 Long Beach. Niners struggling. Snyder down the line. Set left, here comes Focal again, and she whacks another one. 15-15 now. Game 4.
How fitting that the person that's been carrying the primary load all season long, Kristen Focal, is the go-to girl in crunch time.
Serving short, Misty May back set. Here comes Dillard, and the block is good. And Stanford has regained the lead, 16-15. 16-15, Stanford match point for the Cardinal. Long Beach trying to hang on. Back set, trouble, Alvarado, bullet. Chance to win it here, Focal. She can't do it yet. May will set. Left side, put away. Anya Grabovac with the drive. Score remains 16-15 Stanford. Passes off the net, set left. Fogel's getting a lot of them now, and she wraps it inside. Player of the Year candidate, Kristen Fogel.
Now, Brian Gimolaro has one timeout left. The last match point, he let his players play through it and side out on their own. Will he again?
Sarah Clark is in. Third match point for Stanford. 16-15, trying to wrap it up. May sets quick, and it's over! Stanford is going to the championship final to meet Penn State. The most exciting game of this tournament as Stanford seemingly walking away with a 12-3 lead. Long Beach battling back to tie it up at 13-all. Long Beach even took the lead at 14-13, but couldn't put Stanford away. Stanford able to win it.
And the experience that Stanford had as the defending national champion came through with 3 match points. Just way too many weapons for Long Beach to stop.
Kristen Fogel, the big gun on the left. The last 3 kills for the Cardinal. And we've got the matchup for the final. It is set. Stanford from the west, Penn State from the east, a rematch. And you'll see that live on Saturday. One more look at the final play. Stanford wins it on a big block by Walsh and Detmer.